So this is a commentary, and I haven't done one of these in a while, but occasionally there are things which just causes me to need to do a commentary, and I saw one of those on the news the other day and in the mall, and it teamed up to make me do a commentary. So what's on the news that's got me so interested that I wanted to do a commentary on? Well, of all things, it's Hollywood actor Zaza Gabor husband who said when she dies, he hopes to use her body through a process called plasticization as an exhibit to be shown alongside her films. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. Plasticization is a process originally started for medical students so that they can learn the anatomy of a human being correctly, and I have no real moral issues with that. I don't think anyone in their right mind would. Doctors need a certain amount of human beings to practice on before they practice on the real ones. But there has been a disturbing trend recently of profit-driven companies such as Premier Exhibitations and Bodies World, which has human bodies through plasticization on display for profit. If you've been in the Montreal Eaton Center in the last little while, you would have seen posters all over the place for these display of dead bodies, and not everyone's happy at it, myself included. So I wanted to do a commentary on this. I have a few issues with this. First of all, as a Christian, and I know not everyone shares my beliefs, and I definitely don't think that public policy should be made because of my religious beliefs. As a Christian, we are taught that God has made the human being in His image, and that any exploitation of that image is not only wrong, but it's disrespectful for ourselves and to God. In the same way, and this exhibit does that, in the same way that prostitution, pornography, slavery does it. You know, these are trades in human beings without meaning or significance. And that's very disturbing to me. And what's even more disturbing is some of these exhibits. The Bodies World is one of them. Now, Bodies World is a more cosmopolitan. They've aiming at more of the bigger centers such as New York, London. They tried it in France, and France shut them down and fined them massive amounts. But some of these exhibits border on the perverted. These are human beings, and the fact that they were created in God's image is distorted by this exhibit. Now, there is the argument that these exhibits have educational value, and I can understand that. I think that the educational value is significantly distorted in these exhibits by the fact that they're being offered by for-profit corporations. Premier Exhibitions Incorporated being the ones that does Bodies La Exploitation or Bodies Exhibit, is the same company, the same bunch of grey robbers that claim they own everything in the Titanic, including the dead bodies in the Titanic. I don't know if anyone has been following that case in the States, but it's kind of interesting. I have a few different issues. The more secular side of things. First of all, the California government has said that through legislation that consent is necessary. I think you'll find very few people that disagree that if you're displaying someone's body after they have passed on for profit, they really should have consent to do that. But the problem is with Bodies the Exhibition or Bodies the Exhibition is there's actually no proof that consent has ever been attained. Bodies World also, they have taken bodies which were donated for use of medical science in England through the National Health Service and displayed them for profit. There's no proof that there was ever consent. Further, the whole Bodies the Exhibition brings up the issue of where the bodies come from, and their website says, and I quote, "This exhibit displays human remains of Chinese citizens or residents, which were originally received by the Chinese Bureau of Police. The Chinese Bureau of Police may receive bodies from Chinese prisons. Premier cannot independently verify that the human remains that you are viewing are not those of prisoners incarcerated in Chinese prison." And it goes on to say, "The exhibition displays full body cadavers as well as human body parts, organs, fetuses, embryos that came from cadavers of Chinese citizens or residents. With respect to human parts, organs, fetuses, embryos that you are viewing, Premier relies solely on the representation that of Chinese partners and cannot independently verify that they do not belong to executed Chinese prisoners." Wow. So you take bodies from one of the most ruthless regimes in the world and you cannot independently verify that they, by the way, you buy bodies, you buy them from one of the most ruthless regimes in the world, and you cannot verify that they're not from prisoners? Give me a fucking break. Seriously. Oh, sorry. Hopefully YouTube doesn't shut me down for that. Give me a break. You're doing this for profit, for apparently educational purposes, making huge profits on it. You can't verify that these people knew that their bodies were going to be on display, or that they're not prisoners executed solely for the purpose of harvesting human organs or selling body tissues. This is repulsive. So, what do I intend to do today? Well, the French said that the rightful place for a human body is in the ground, and I don't necessarily disagree with them. but that's my religious view. So, what I suggest is that we have public museums in Canada. This exhibit belongs rightfully in a public museum, not for profit. So, I suggest we outlaw it unless it's in a public museum. It's a simple solution, preserves the dignity and worth of a human being, and provides the educational value this company apparently seeks. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed this commentary. I'll be back with Municipal Government series later this week.